I be watching shit. Right now, I'm watching a movie called Halloween. Spirit Halloween. And the little boy on this bike has a mama or a grandmother who was Marla Gibbs. You know, she played in 227, right? And she played on a maid on Moving On Up with George and Wheezy. Now, listen, this little boy right here on his bike with the copper pants, I've been noticing something about him. Because I be getting my little breadcrumbs on these shows. But this little boy wears t-shirts. His first shirt that I seen when he came on the screen was a periodic table of elements. So I kind of figured he was smart. But that's my little breadcrumb. And the fact that Marla Gibbs is his grandma and she played 227. And I know what that means. And the last three digits, because it's the Holy Trinity now, of my old telephone number growing up was 227. Anyway, it was 9644227 to be exact. Okay? You know, because every number I just said means something. 9644227. So anyway, this shirt that he got on, I don't know what to say, but it says "Nah, bro" at the end of it. And so if you look up the letters of the periodic table, you understand what I mean. But he just spelled a word, cute, to his friend on the other bike and was like, tell her you're made of, because you see it on the screen, it says, hey, you are made up of copper and tellurium, or some shit, right? Now, copper, I know what that, because you know we copper beans and stuff. You know, I know what that is. You know, it's on the penny too. You know, Lincoln on the penny too. But anyway, I ain't gonna go there. But tellurium means something too. Now let me show you.
Okay. Next time here, say, hey, are you made of copper and beryllium? Because baby, you are cute.
He said, are you made of copper and beryllium? Now listen.
Ew.
Because baby, you are cute.
Copper is CU and beryllium is TE.
See that? Do y'all know what beryllium means? Now, I'm talking about the root word because it was discovered in 1783, supposedly, right? And it's the name for a Latin name for tell us. Now, wait a minute, who we telling? Now, you know, and then you know what tell us mean? Earth. Wait a minute. Hold the phone, you know, ET phone home type shit. Cause I told y'all this was some ignorant motherfucker. This is some I can't. I can't. This is so toxic, which is this element, which is number 52, which is number 7, and it's found on the Earth's crust, you know, and it's a metal, you know, like silver and gold type shit. And this what this fucking metal is, you know. But anyway, I'm just pointing out, like, this is so ignorant. They ignorant. And you know they got everything on this earth from one motherfucking source. You hear me? I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm gonna continue to watch Spirit Halloween. And you know, that's in everybody's probably mall. I don't know if you don't have a mall. They usually pop up around town around Halloween time and stuff, you know, that's what I'm talking about. And you know, what a spirit is, right? Cause the spirit Halloween, I mean, literally has the spirit and literally just all of a sudden appears out of no motherfucking where, right? And it's full of costumes, right? For Halloween, which is on the 31st day of October, which if you flip it, is 13, which is 4. The box, the square, I mean, because you know that's all sides are equal. Type shit, you hear me? This is some fucking bullshit. But you know what? To be honest, I never really said this because, you know, my favorite color is orange and everything. You know, my birthday is 6/7. Isn't that 13? And I was born in 80. So 6, 7, 8. I've been saying this for a long time. But you know, because I told y'all we come from one source. Anyway. And you know, when you look at the periodic table, it's little squares, right? Like the box and shit. Anyway. And that's on period. IDC and shit, you know. IDIC, you know. Which happened to be my son's initials, IDC, you know. And his birthday, actually, is 3/14, which is the pi, right? Shit wild in a bitch. Those who don't know what I'm talking about, look at the word periodic. The last 4 letters is ODIC. Now, if you flip those around, because I just said something about a pie, right? Right, the circle of life, right? And then it's IDC. Or DIC. I said it wrong. Whatever. Dick. You know what I'm saying? Like Tom, Dick, and motherfucking Harry, motherfucker. I mean, for real. This shit wild in a bitch. I just can't. I can't. I mean, I can. That's what I've been doing. You know? Doing all this, giving y'all information, sprinkling and showing y'all who the fuck I am. I told you I knew who I was. I know who my kids are too. Anyway, if you want me to be honest, I know who your kids are too. I know who you are too. You hear me? Sometimes you gotta pop up and show niggas and shit. You hear me? And one more thing. Today I went to a job fair and was highly disappointed. And I went in plain clothes. I did not dress up, but I did that for a reason. Because I understand how this world is, and I'm trying to figure out the problems of the world. Now, everybody talk about they hiring, but don't do no motherfucking hiring. Now, everybody went to the Civic Center today. You heard me, Civic Center, because this is a factor, because it's right across the street from motherfucking Golden Chick and right next to City Hall and the post office and stuff, which is federal. But anyway, we ain't gonna go there, you know. But I'm just telling y'all a little bit of sprinkle. Anyway, now, while I was there, I was like, I'm gonna get my resume printed. And I know my resume is 4 pages long. And I ended up telling them that my resume was 4 pages long, and she looked at me and looked at the clothes that I had on because they were concerned, you know. You hear me? And I wasn't. I don't give a fuck because I know what I'm here for. I'm just investigating, you know. I'm an investigative reporter on their ass, you right? Because they don't know who I am, but I know who I am, right? So she looked at me and she was like, you have a resume? Yeah. I actually have multiple resumes. Did you send it? The whole line. She came right to me. And I wasn't even the first, second, or third person. No, first or... My bad. I was the third person in line. So she skipped the first and second one. Came right to me because I wasn't dressed professionally. But again, I don't have to dress professionally. I know what my job is. Bitch, you don't know what your job is. But okay. Anyway. She was like, did you send your resume? Yeah. I sent it to the email. I mean, I can read and I pay attention. So, what's your name? So I told her my name. She went back in. Called my name. I'm talking about I was the third one there. So she shouldn't have called my name first. So these first 2 people that supposedly was in line and found out the information before I even walked up. Because the lady who was number 2 had said, oh, did you got your resume on your electronically? And I said, yeah. And she was like, oh, okay. And I said, well, aren't you supposed to send it to that email? And she was like, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to keep moving with the story. So she called me in there and she was like, what's your name again? And I said, Marjoanna. to the other lady that was in there, and so she was like, okay. So she printed my resume. I said, well, she's like, I only can make 5 copies. I said, that's fine. My resume is 4 pages. And she looked at me. I mean, she gave me an ugly look too. She's like, you gonna have to shorten that. No, ma'am, I will not. What you talking about? She was like, because most people that hire will only look at the first page and throw away the others. I said, that's their problem. I'm not shortening my resume for nobody. You hear me? It's my resume. You hear me? And there's 4 motherfucking. Actually, it used to be longer than that. I shortened it. And you will not shorten my professionalism because you feel like you only can read 1 motherfucking page. You got me bent, okay? So anyway, so she printed it and gave it to me, and I went on in. I was like, I was really disappointed. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of people only hire for slave work. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it real, 100 for real. Like, I'm not working in no factory. I'm not picking up shit. I'm not working in no Amazon. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not working in no nursing home, wiping no ass. I'm not doing none of that. You hear me? So I went to, Texas. Workforce Solution. Because they supposed to help. Because they supposedly got a solution. So I went right to them and I was like, because they were supposed to be helping me a long time ago, but they never did. But I was just only being funny because, again, I know who I am. Are y'all hiring? That's how I said it. And she was like, no. I said, she was like, do you know where you at? And I said, this is Texas Workforce. I mean, we're at a job fair and this is Texas Workforce Solution. Are you hiring? Oh, we don't hire. Okay, so what are you here for? Like, type of shit, Oh, it's a company because it's a company that just took over, and you can go to them, and gave me all the information. And she was like, but you can try, because I told her my credentials or whatever, and she was just shocked because, again, people are judging me for what I had on, which kind of bothered me too, but I ain't even gonna go into all of that because some people can't afford a fancy suit. I mean, I used to can, but I lost a lot of weight. And I'm not finna pay no $100 for no motherfucking suit when you only paying the bitch $10, $13 damn dollars an hour. Are you fucking kidding me? But I just had to go there. I'm just saying. But anyway, so she was judging me on my look, and that's okay. You're not hurting my feelings. You're only hurting yours because that's all you're doing is reflecting, right? But I can catch every reflection. I can catch and sense a lot of things that a lot of people don't think I can. But anyway, moving along, that job fair sucked. I mean, they had the army there, and I'm like, they're not even hiring, but you got the army there. Like, what? And then they were next to UNT, which is weird to me because, where people are placed. And I have the little schematic thing that they gave me. I should post it on here because where people are placed in, because we all in alignment because we're moving off one source. But anyway, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna bore y'all with all this shit. God, this gang, married to the game, is definitely in this motherfucking vessel building. You hear me? And I meant to say they source out their jobs to another company. Like the sorcerers source their jobs out to another company. Texas Workforce Solution. So your solution is to find a source, right? Okay, I done found mine. That's all I'm saying. And I left. You hear me? To the left, to the left. Ooh, to the left, to the left. Everything I own in a box. To the left. You hear me?